Hi, this is Bill Varney from FishTheSurf.com and your saltwater guide with your Thursday, January 30th surf fishing report. So let's go on up north. Let's start up in Santa Barbara. Really good news up in Santa Barbara. As all these swells have mitigated over the last week or so, very quiet Pacific we're having now. Kind of unusual for this time of year. Certainly will turn around, but it's really allowed the water to calm down up in the Santa Barbara area, clean up, clear up, and the fishing has really improved up there. Barred surf perch fishing, really everywhere from the university, all the way Campus Point, all the way down to below Santa Barbara in the La Conchita, Carpinteria area. All of those areas had some fantastic surf perch fishing over the last week or so. And we're now beginning to see some really big ones. The concentration of some of those biggest perch have been up in Monterey and then down right in the Ventura zone. But Santa Barbara has done well too. And also this week, we've seen a pickup in halibut bites up there in Santa Barbara. Although no real big fish, a couple of legals here and there. There have been quite a few small fish, 20 inches, like right around the legal number caught. So that really seems to be improving. And the best places for fishing there is on Goleta Beach, just a little bit south of the Goleta Pier, down around the harbor area, the Sandspit area, on the East Beach side of the wharf. And then the best area, and we've talked about this before, has been down in that Graveyards area below the White Estate there, just south of East Beach there. It's been really good halibut fishing there for those smaller fish, which means there's a really good chance the bigger ones are going to come in. And of course, we're only a month or so, a little bit more than a month and a week or so, 5 weeks away from grunion runs. So it won't be long before those bigger halibut are right in by the shore. So some of the best baits up in Santa Barbara, really all along the coast being used right now for those halibut are swim baits, jerk baits, flukes, and of course the hard baits like the Lucky Craft, the Battle Star. Those baits have worked really well in the surf for halibut, and that's all along the coast. And then we make our way down to Ventura, of course up in Santa Barbara. If you need tackle, you want to stop by Hook, Line, and Sinker. If you go down in Ventura, Hun's right there in the harbor. Ventura Harbor is a great place to stop by for live bait and some good advice on surf fishing. The barred surf perch down in Ventura, it's like, wow, there has been some huge ones. Really beautiful fish. They've been taken on everything from the Battle Star hard baits, Lucky Craft hard baits, grubs, of course. You got grubs like a curly-tailed grub, a paddle-tail grub. Those have all worked really well. And then baits, live baits have all worked. The mussel clams, gulp, and lugworms and bloodworms and ghost shrimp. All those have worked really well in that area for these really big barred surf perch. I'm surprised. I think there was probably, I saw maybe 20 over 13 inches last week just in the Ventura area, everywhere from about C Street all the way down to Oxnard's Hollywood Beach. So that whole zone has had some really good perch fishing. And then the other news is the greatness continues. A couple more corbina have been caught in Ventura still, and pretty good sized ones, right around 18, 20 inches or so. So I think part of that, I was talking to Ben up in Hook, Line, and Sinker about that in Santa Barbara, is because, the water warms up north much later in the season, and the corbina make their way up the coast to feed. As that water warms down south, gets too warm for the sand crabs, they move their way north, and then when the winter comes, they push their way south. We've had such a mild winter that they're still coming south out of there, and I think that's why we've seen some caught. When we make our way down to Malibu, of course, we got the issues with the fire in Malibu. Much of that is closed, and there would be no fishing. That would be from the Malibu Pier all the way to the Santa Monica Pier. You wouldn't want to fish there anyway, but that would be primarily closed. But above there, El Matador Beach, Leo Carrillo, Thornhill Broom, Point Magoo, all those are open. They have not only had some fantastic perch fishing there, once again like Ventura, these big fish, anywhere from 12 to 15 plus inches that they've caught up there, but they've also had a couple of great other catches. One of the biggest calico surf perch I've ever seen caught was caught there this week, and then second of all, another corbina. So as those corbina are making their way south, they're still making their way south, trying to get down to Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, South Orange County, and ultimately into San Diego, as that water's a little bit warmer down there, and those are the estuaries they love to go in. They are still biting in Malibu, so who knows, maybe next week we'll see another, it's hard to believe, but we'll see another corbina up there. Surf fishing in the South Bay, Just Fishing by Pete. That's a great tackle shop to go check out in Redondo. They have all kinds of tackle there and really good advice on surf fishing. It's been very, very quiet. There's been a bunch of walleye surf perch, of some shiners, very similar to the walleye, and also barred surf perch caught along that stretch. When you get down to Torrance, I had a couple reports of yellowfin croaker still biting down there in the evening. So that's what's going on in the South Bay. Not a real lot's going there. In Orange County, a great tackle shop to stop by there is Big Fish Tackle. They have probably the widest selection of live bait of any tackle store in California. Obviously, great surf fishing information, lots of good tackle there. So check them out if you're down in that area. But the yellowfin croaker bite continues down in that Huntington Beach area from Surfside, really all the way down to the Huntington Pier. The evening's been the best, and those half-ounce, three-quarter-ounce crocodiles, cast masters, those type of spoons, just retrieved at a medium speed, cast out as far as you can. Remember, use that fan casting motion, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, to cover as much surface area as possible and retrieve it. Try to remember what speed you were going when you got bit. And one thing about those yellowfin croaker to always remember is that they run in schools. You know, they're like grunion, like you never see a grunion by itself. It's always in a school of grunion. Or an anchovy, it's always in a school of anchovy. Well, that's the same with yellowfin croaker. They hunt as a group together, and it's really interesting also how they communicate. We'll talk about that some other day, but they always run in schools. So if you catch one, you want to continue to cast in that area to catch more and follow them up the beach. So that's what's basically going in Orange County. It's been rather quiet down there. Once again, we've had one or two small halibut, but mostly some really nice barred perch that are in that Surfside, Huntington Beach, Newport Jetties area, and then south of the San Clemente Pier has been good. And then down in San Diego, Pacific Coast Bait and Tackle in Oceanside, fantastic surf fishing bait, great advice. They have fun derbies, all kinds, so check those guys out. They're great. And then Seaforth Landing often has live ghost shrimp. Give them a jingle, see if they've got some. That's a great place to pick up ghost shrimp if you need it. And you can fish in the bay with it, you can fish in the harbor with it, and of course you can fish in the open ocean at the beach with it. Other than that, it's been really quiet in San Diego. I know a lot of the beach, especially in that Carlsbad area, the sand has been taken away by, of course, these northwesterly swells, and so it's exposed more of the rocks on the beaches there, and that has slowed down the fishing in some areas, and a lot of small perch down there. We're hoping to get some better reports for next week. Well, one last thing I'd like to cover before we're finished here is that my good buddy Jason Scribner, who has such a fantastic surf fishing site for years, Vincent Chiafalo, who's up in San Luis Obispo County, and myself, we always promote the fact this time of year that there are a lot of these pregnant, large, the biggest barred perch, pregnant barred perch. And of course, barred perch give live birth. If you're fishing for barred perch and you're not going to keep them, you're catching, releasing, or maybe you're fishing for halibut and you get one of these big barred perch, if you're not going to keep it, handle it carefully, get the hooks out of it as quickly as you can, and get it right back safely into the water. Don't throw it in the water, just take it back and set it right back into the water. If it does have its babies on the beach while you're there, congratulations, Dad or Mom. Just pick those up because it has live birth, remember. Just pick those up along with a mom and put them all back into the ocean and they'll go swimming off. So when it comes to those large barred surf perch, most of those are females, and the ones that are pregnant with babies, we want to let them have as many babies as we can, of course, so that there's that many more surf perch out there. There's no problem with the biomass of surf perch, but that's just smart. Just a smart thing to do to keep fishing good for future generations. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope to see you down on the beach, and we'll see you next week.